This holiday season brings another exclusive RPG for the 360, Namco Bandai's Magnacarta 2, the latest entry in the series that has absolutely nothing to do with a historical English document. The game mixes things up with its novel battle system, but isn't enough to help it stand out from the rest.
Another one!
Juto, leave the rest to me.
Nicely done!
The story of Magnacarta 2 is one of civil war, with two opposing factions fighting for causes they each truly believe represent the good of all. For most of the tale, your heroes believe their side is just, but as inconvenient truths manifest, their resolve begins to unravel. It all leads to a bittersweet ending that will have you questioning your entire adventure.
It's a bit of a shock.
The premise is promising enough, but the execution is flawed. Most of the dialogue is delivered through static exposition sequences that won't hold your attention very well, and the story's pacing is incredibly sluggish out of the gate. In short, it asks a whole lot of your patience before it finally begins to pay off. Then there's the issue of character development. A few of the lead characters will grow on you, but for the most part, it's a forgettable ensemble.
I was fighting Zephy? Why would I do that?
Magnacarta 2 follows a traditional formula. You explore environments, gear up at each town you visit, and level your characters through combat. The world is divided into several zones that are interconnected, but for most of the game, you're confined to specific areas. The boundaries are all dictated by the story, and until you complete the main objective in each area, which usually means defeating a monstrous boss, you won't be able to progress to the next part of the game. This doesn't necessarily mean the game is strictly linear, though, as there's some emphasis on straying off the beaten path. While most games force you to grind through countless battles to level up, Magnacarta 2 delivers a now familiar alternative, the MMO-style quest. In nearly every segment of the game, you'll meet NPCs who dole them out, and reward you with experience, money, and loot upon completion. Quest objectives are fairly diverse, with some even playing out like standalone minigames. You'll still need to fight the occasional foe or two to advance in addition to questing, but the game strikes a welcome balance between the two options. Throughout the game, you control a party of 3 active members, with up to 3 more sitting in reserve. Each character wields a specific type of weapon, and comes with a unique skill tree to boot. The advancement system isn't very deep overall, but you do reap solid benefits by enhancing your weapons. This will feel familiar to fans of Final Fantasy VII, and if you exploit it for all it's worth, your characters will be much more powerful for it. Quests and weapon upgrades aside, Magnacarta 2 is held back by its claustrophobic world. There's not a lot of diversity in the lay of the land. You'll find yourself constantly retreading the same old areas. All told, expect to while away around 35 hours as you ramble through it. One of the more original aspects of Magnacarta 2 is its battle system, which incorporates elements of turn-based and real-time combat. As you traverse each area, you'll come across enemies that you can engage or avoid. If you decide to enter combat, the game shifts into battle seamlessly. It's also just as easy to exit combat in case you need to flee or reposition yourself for a strategic advantage. It's incredibly simple and allows the action to flow at a good pace. Combat occurs in real time, with players executing a wide variety of attacks linked together into combos. You can't, however, simply pound away at enemies without consequence. Your actions are limited by a gauge at the bottom of the screen, and if you fail to properly mind it, your characters will end up overheating, which immobilizes them for a short period of time. While this seems like it'll put the brakes on combat at first, there's a little more to it. The game incorporates a chain mechanic that encourages you to switch between active party members at a specific time in order to prevent incapacitating any one character. It definitely comes with a steep learning curve, but it keeps the action flowing, amounting to combat that's incredibly fun once you get it mastered. On the flip side, it somewhat lessens the importance of any one character, making them feel more like a cog in a machine than a unique player on the battlefield.
I will give my all to the fight.
While the basic battle mechanics are spot on, there are still a few hiccups. Camera controls in some areas will obscure your view, making it difficult to fight effectively. Your active party members aren't very competent, largely due to the limited number of AI behaviors you can assign to them. This can throw a wrench in your battle plans, unless you do some serious micromanagement.
You shouldn't play the martyr.
What is this? So this is...
What the hell is this?
Magnacarta 2's visual presentation is hit or miss. Character and enemy models look decent, and some of the environments truly stand out. Many of the backgrounds look ugly though, since there's a constant blur effect that obscures the short draw distance. There's also a good amount of load time to deal with. For such a dialogue-heavy game, you would hope that the voice work were more up to the task. It's actually very uneven, and the repetitive battle cries get annoying, though you can turn them off.
I'll show you the power of Trewa! I'm doing a heck of a job!
The soundtrack is decent enough, but it's never truly memorable.
I'll show you the power of Trewa!
Why am I not surprised? Would you get up from there already? I said get up!
Despite its unique combat system and all the alternatives it provides to the tired old level grind, there are just too many flaws holding Magnacarta 2 back. Unless you're fine with enduring lots of slow moments, it's hard to recommend without reservation, especially given how many great RPGs there are on the 360.
Come on, let's go. Shouldn't we be searching for items inside the fortress?
Yes, I think the Northern forces left various items behind.